אנחנו נעבור עם העיניים. אם יש מישהו... לא. אחד ושניים? אתם מסודרים? אדון עולם, אשר מלך בטרם כל.
יש רחוב שתחליט, לא כדאי לי לבחור. עם רגליים טובות ועם שכל לחשוב, תיזהר לא ללכת ברחוב קצת לא טוב. אם בכלל לא תמצא אף רחוב שתואר, תעזוב את העיר ותצא למרחב.
לחלות הכל, מה אנחנו רוצים? לנשום את החיים ולהיות מרוצים. לשבת בשדרה ביום בהיר וצח, להתפנק באור המלטף כל כך. לקום כל בוקר עם 5 החושים, לשמור על רוחב לב גם בימים קשים. להתאים כל הלב לצחוק, לשמור על היגיון ועל שיווי משקל, לזכור שאנו לא המצאנו שום גלגל. ביום ההם לזכור את יום האהבה, ביום שיפור ענות לשמור על השלווה. להתפלל לזמן שיעשה רק טוב, כדי לקום מחר בבוקר לאהוב.
מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו קדוש קדוש אדוני אלוהינו כי מציון תחתורה ורדן ירושלים כי מציון תחתורה. אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים
ולא תעבדם כי אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך אלקנה פוקד עוון אבות על בנים ועל שילשים כלל ריבים לשונא.
אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. אתה יכול לשבת פה. על 3 דברים, על 3 דברים, על 3 דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. מצוין. אמן. ותחזרו אחריי. יברכך אדוני וישמרך,
יברכך אדוני וישמרך,
יאר אדוני פניו אליך,
יאר אדוני פניו אליך
ויחונך, יישא אדוני פניו אליך,
יישא אדוני פניו אליך
וישם לך שלום.
וישם לך שלום.
First off, I want to thank everyone for coming to my bar mitzvah. I've been working on my bar mitzvah for a couple of months now, but I've also been working on it my whole life at the same time, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without some of my family and friends. Before I begin, I want to say that all of these people do a lot more for me than what I wrote down. Let's start off with my parents. First off is my mom. I love talking to you. You're an amazing listener, and it's a lot of fun to talk to you for hours on end. You help me solve all of my problems and give me a lot of important advice. I also appreciate all the effort you make in putting my life more easier and fun. You wake up early to make me my lunch most days, sign me up for sports, always let my friends come over, and all the other things that are actually so big and important to me. We know each other so well that we can just look at each other and know what the other is thinking. Now let's move on to my dad. My dad is a really important part of my life. First off, he always helped me in making me good at math. Also, I like that you annoy me sometimes. Well, most of the times, even though I don't admit it. I also appreciate you dubering, Dad Duber. I want to thank you for making my life better and being yourself. Moving on, let's talk about my siblings. They're amazing siblings and I really appreciate them. Let's start with fun. First of all, you're a good girl. It's really fun playing volleyball and talking with you late at night. I love spending time with you even though you ignore us. Next is let's begin by saying I miss you so much. I love playing basketball with you as well as 2K. I miss talking to you and just being with you in general. Next up is Rabbi George, who was my rabbi in America who helped me. Rabbi George was my rabbi who helped me prepare for my bar mitzvah and is one of the kindest people I've ever met. I want to thank him for helping me in my bar mitzvah and always being optimistic and kind no matter the situation. And also I want to thank Lorena because she's really cool.
Yeah, you're really cool, Omar.
And finally, I want to thank everyone that's here for coming and being with me as a church. The Torah portion that I'm doing is from Deuteronomy and called Bat Hanan, and it talks about the 10 Commandments. To me, the 10 Commandments are the common laws of society that shape our world. Everyone follows them, and most of them can apply to all people of all religion. They are laws given to us by God so that all will remain good on earth. While I was learning about the 10 Commandments, me and my parents had a deep conversation about them. We realized that we could split up the commandments into groups. Humans to human, God to God. While some of them were obvious, others we have to think about more deeply. There are some that only apply to Jews, while others apply to everyone. Some of them were to-dos and others not to-dos, and others were easier to understand, while others were harder to. We split the commandments into lots of categories, such as the ones I talked about earlier. It was really interesting to get to know and talk about the 10 Commandments. I chose to pick 2 commandments that were the most meaningful and important rules to me. The first one is respecting your parents. To me, it's a variety of things. To start off, what is respecting your parents? To me, it is to help your parents when they are in need, listen to them when they talk, and not to be rude to them. You need to listen to them, to your parents too, because they have experience in life and they just want you to end up being successful. I think another part of respecting your parents is to respect the boundaries they put up for you, even if you don't like them or understand them, because they're set for a reason. They want you to stay safe. For example, there are kids in my grade who either have no boundaries or break the boundaries set for them, and because of this, nobody likes them. Another way to respect your parents is to always tell the truth, because honesty builds relationships and lies break them. But I think that this commandment should also include parents need to respect their kids. I think that this should be there because the relationship has to be both ways, not just one way. To me, that means that they let their kid be who the kid really is. It means the parent can't make all the decisions for the kid. They gotta stay in the moment. For example, regarding the last 2 examples of my friends, of my respect, some of my friends' parents care so much about their future and what colleges they go to and all of that they make them sign up for tons of extra schoolwork and music and sports and a ton of stuff that the kid doesn't want to do. This is an example of what you shouldn't do, because that way the child has no freedom and gets to make no decisions. Another rule for this new commandment is the parents will always be there for the child, and no matter how they turn out, will help them. I think that the parent should be like an older friend that can give advice to their children. That's why I think this commandment should go both ways, not just kid respecting parent, but also parent respecting kid. The second commandment I want to talk about is do not covet. Although this is one of the most important rules, I think that it is impossible. I think this because as human beings, we can't help but be jealous about other people. It's natural. I think this rule is just talking about what you're going to do about it. It's saying that if you do follow this rule, that you'll be grateful for all of the things in your life from little to big. For me, this means that I won't talk about things too much and just enjoy myself wherever I am. It means that I'll enjoy all the little things that happen to me. The short trips, good songs, foods, and moments. One plus for this commandment is that if you follow it, you'll feel more self-confidence because you'll accept who you are and what you have, and you're no longer trying to be like other people. This is why I think this rule is so important. It also may revolve around the other commandments too. The commandments that I think it revolves around are don't murder, don't steal, don't commit adultery, and etc. This rule helps you understand that committing a crime is not a way to put up with wanting something someone else has. Adding on, this rule is saying be content with what you have. It's also saying don't get what your neighbor has because then you might not appreciate it as much. For example, when I was around 9 years old, one of my best friends had this really cool toy called Anki Overdrive. It was cars that would go around a self-built track by themselves. I thought this toy was really cool and I always looked forward to playing with it when I went to my friend's house. I decided that I really wanted to get one for myself. The only problem that it was really expensive. So I decided to get it for my birthday. I really enjoyed it in the beginning, but after a while I thought it was really boring and a drag. This story proves that if you always covet from your neighbor, you won't appreciate stuff as well. After many months of getting ready for my bar mitzvah, I've realized how important the 10 Commandments really are. I've realized how to analyze them and how they're so similar yet different. I've learned how to sing my Torah portion. Learning from my bar mitzvah has made me feel more like I'm part of something bigger than me. I've also felt like I've become more mature and adult-like. I'd like to thank you for coming to my bar mitzvah and that you have a happy rest of the day.
מחייכים אל העולם אם מתגלגל לגל מצחוק עד השמיים אז למה גם אנחנו לא נצחקים כולם אם יש עוד קרקסים וליצנים ולא בספר אם צחוק הילדים נשמע צלול ולא רחוק צוחק השוק הים הבמון של בית הספר אז למה גם אנחנו לא נלמד לצחוק כדאי ללמוד מן הפרחים, לא לקמץ בחיוכים, והעולם תראו יהיה בדיוק אותו. כדאי לחלום ולקוות, נסו רק פעם. כדאי לצחוק, כדאי לחיות, כדאי לאהוב. כדאי גם לחייך, מותר לכעוס, אך בזהירות לא להרוס. אפשר לרקום חלום נפלא ביום סגריר. הכל יהיה עוד טוב יותר ודאי, אבל בינתיים אפשר לזכות ללא סיבה, אפשר גם לשיר. ומזל טוב, ומזל טוב, ומזל טוב, ומזל טוב,